Hi everybody. I had someone request a card that I had in the studio, in the, not the studio, what am I saying? I'm thinking Inspiration Studio, in the craft room. And it was a bifold card, and it fold, or trifold, I guess you would call. No, it had two folds to it. But if I'm not a card maker, it folded in on itself, and when it folded in on itself, it had a heart that was cut out in the center. And apparently, I had a picture in there, but I didn't have the card itself in there. And someone had written to me and asked for the file, and I've since shared it with her. And I was telling her that it's a real easy one to make, and I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, and the next thing I need to do is hit the letter C for condense, because we need to make sure that our measurements are correct. So I want my width to be 11. And let's see, this is 8.5, which would be 4 3/4. So when you divide it in half, that's what I'm doing, is dividing it in half. So that's like half of an 8.5 piece of paper or cardstock. Okay, so now that I have this drawn the way that I need for it to be, I'm going to go to Justify, and I'm going to hit Center. Or actually, no, I need to get this over to the one side, and for some reason, I gotta hit it over here. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I need to know where half is. So we know that an 11 sheet of paper is 5.5. There we go. 5.5 is half of it. So now we need to divide this one in half. So 5.5 is half of an 11. Half of 5.5. Well, half of 5 is 2.5, and half of a half is a quarter. So 2.5 plus 1/4 would be 2 3/4. So I'm going to go over here to 2 3/4, and I'm going to double click on it. If you're in the regular Inspiration Studio, you just need to hit it once. So it's 2 3/4 coming from this end, and now coming from the 11, I need to go in 2 3/4. So this is 1, 2 3/4. So I'm going to double click here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in up close there just to make sure that I'm as close as I need to be. And that looks pretty good. And let's look at this one. And that one looks pretty good too. I just wanted to make sure. And for you to be able to see better too what I'm doing. So what I need to do now is draw lines over these lines that are dotted. So what I'm going to do is change my line color to purple, and then I'm going to click on my dotted line tool, my Kiss Cut tool. It changed the purple. It changed that to purple too. I don't care about that so much. I want a contrasting color against the black dotted line I'm going to be drawing on here. So I'm going to hold my Shift key down, my left mouse key down, and I'm going to draw a line. Okay, I'm going to do it there, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Hold my Shift key down, my left mouse key down, and always let go of your left mouse key before you let go of your Shift key. I learned this from Chloe. She's wonderful. To make sure that I'm exactly on that line, I'm going to go up close. And as you can see, I am not. So I'm going to click on this line, and I'm going to use my arrow key, my left arrow key, to make sure it's directly on until you can't see it anymore. Go to the other one. There it is. And it's not either. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to use my right arrow key until you can't see it anymore. That way I know it's directly on where it's supposed to be. Then I'll go to my view, remove line guide, and remove my line guides, and now I have my card the way I need it to be. There's the two folds. This one will fold to the center this way. This one will fold to the center this way. But she wanted hearts over here, this part being cut out. So I'm going to go to my image gallery. I've been using my computer a lot today, so it's delaying a little bit. I probably should have shut it down before I did this tutorial. I'm going to click on shapes. I'm going to scroll down until I find my heart and get out of here. And what I like to do when I bring something from the image gallery there is, if you look over here, they thicken the lines. I'm going to make the lines as thin as I can get them to 0. I'm going to take away the line color, and I want to move this over too. I'm going to box all this in, and I like to work from the center of the page. So I'm going to make sure it's all centered, and then I'm going to bring my heart up here and try to get it as centered the best that I can. And I want to narrow this a little bit. I don't want it to be that wide. So let's hope that it's a perfectly even heart. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And now what I'm going to do is zoom in closer. And as you can see, I didn't have the heart where I needed it to be. So I'm going to click on the heart, and using my, and you know what? If you look at this dot here, you can see that this is not perfectly centered. I want to center my dot on my line. So this is not a perfect heart, but I know that this dot is. And I'm going to go up to the top too, and I want to see the center of the top part of the heart. And I've made this way too big. I need to zoom out a little bit. And now zoom back in. Okay. I got to click on the heart. And yeah, it's not a perfectly formed heart, so I'm going to be fudging this a little bit, just so you know. So I'm going to click on the heart again. I'm going to use my left arrow key to get it centered. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to go down to the bottom. And let's zoom in. And it seems like it's off just slightly. So I'm just going to take my point move tool and move it from the bottom. And hopefully that matched it up, because the center is the most important part. In case you're wondering why I'm not worried about the outside, to the naked eye, I need to get in closer here. To the naked eye, it's going to be okay. But it's the center is where the paper needs to match. Let me hit my refresh tool. I guess that is about as close. There, got it. Okay, we did it. Yay! So now what I need to do is split this heart in half. So I'm going to get up close. A little bit closer. There. Okay, move point tool. We're going to go to the second pair of scissors from the left, and we're going to split this heart in half. So once again, I'm going to hold my shift key down and my left mouse key because I want a perfectly straight line. And I'm going to go from one point to the other. And I may have missed it. I don't think I got close enough. I may have. I'm not sure yet. Let's see if this moves away. Yes, I did. Okay. I need to move that one to the other side of the page. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hold my shift key, my left mouse key, and I'm going to move it across the page and try to get it on that line there, letting go of my mouse key before my shift key. If you move the shift key, the heart will move and you won't have it perfectly straight. So now I'm going to go zoom in here again because I want to make sure it's on that line. And it looks like it needs to be moved over because I don't think the heart cut perfectly straight. There, I got it on the line. Do the same thing over here. I'm going to hit the heart again. Left arrow key, that one's on the line. Good. Zoom out. And now this will cut out this part, and this will cut out this part. And we need to make sure that this part here cuts out, but there's lines there, and it's much easier just to get rid of the heart line. So I'm going to hit my eraser tool, hit that, and I can leave it just like this if I want to, because it'll cut it out, this will cut out, the heart will come out. You can leave it just like that, but I want to show you how to use the second set of scissors. So that's the only reason that I'm doing what I'm doing now. Otherwise, you could just leave it like this, and it'll still cut okay. I need to break my group. I'm going to zoom in again where the heart is, and I want to get rid of that purple line. So I'm going to hit my move point tool. This time I'm going to go to my first set of scissors, and I'm going to click on the purple line, and it leaves a tiny box there. You need to scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing here, and it did there. And now you're going to see that's up. Let me hit it again. You're going, why is it doing that? There we go. It separated it, and that's exactly what I wanted it to do. When I go in closer, though, you can see that I've got a problem here because the heart did not separate the way that I wanted it to. Kind of messed that up. But what I'm going to do is bring this like this and bring this down here. And that's why I like to leave things alone and not do what I'm doing, um, because it still would have cut out okay. But that, join that up there. I gotta zoom out so I can scroll the rest of the way. Okay, hit my move point tool. This is to join the joints together, and that did that side. And now we got to go back out and go over to this side and do the same thing, just so you can see how to do that again. Move point tool, and I'm going to the first set of scissors, and I'm going to click on the purple line, and I'm going to click on the purple line, and let's make sure I got it. There it is. I don't know why it keeps erasing like that. Delete it, move point tool, go to join the intersections, join that one, join that one. Let's back out, and that's your heart. That is your card. Now, you don't have to use the hearts. You can use stars. It has to be something that you want to cut out of the center, but you have to make sure that you have it lined from this point to this point on this side and this point to this point on that side. But you can do it with stars, you can do it with hearts, you can do it with an Easter egg, whatever you decide you want to do. Now, if I had been smart, which I did not do, I would have saved a copy of the heart, the last heart that I used, so that way when you close the card, then you could have cut out a heart in a different color, and then you could have put that heart right in the center here after you close the card, and then you could have laminated it with embossing powders or whatever you wanted to do. So there's a lot of possibilities, and I hope you have fun with this project. And I would love to see your post. You can post some of your stuff, and I'll post it on my site. If you first posted at is about you and the Yahoo groups. So if you post your stuff there in the is about you group, then I can post it on my site and share it with everybody with your pictures so they can see them. Enjoy. And for some reason I can't close it. Here we go.